everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den and welcome to another Sunday. Today we're going to make this card. It's called a double VW card. So I was asked to make this by a couple of my members on my Facebook group, and this was my prototype one. So please bear with me as I didn't finish this one off. It's supposed to have a belly band around it as well, but you don't need to do the belly band if you don't want to. So, and I haven't decorated this one either. So, well, oh excuse me, this is the card we're going to be making. So I'm going to pop this one on one side. And this is up really lovely. It does set up nicely. Let me put it down like that, you can actually see it better. And I've put my saying here so that when the card's closed you can actually see it in that section there. But there's still plenty of room for you to write and it not get seen from the front of the card. And when it stands up like this, you wouldn't see it the same. So let's pop that one on one side and I'll show you what you need. Okay, and I've done a little bit of the work. So, and I'm going to make the belly band for this one. Okay, so let's see. And again, I haven't stuck all my bits and pieces together, but this one won't take too long to do. So, there we go. Alright, so our main card is, whoops, 11 5/8, which is this midget off the end of your full length of card, just so that these panels here are all even. So it's 11 5/8 by 5 7/8. Okay, then you're going to need 2 more panels for your V's. These both measure 2 inches by 6 inches. Right, for your inside piece and your writing panel, which you have a writing panel on the back here, these both measure exactly the same, and these are 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and then 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. So you've got 2 of those. Then for your V panels, you're going to need 4 pieces of card that measure 2.5 by 1.5. Oh, no, that's wrong. 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. Sorry. And then 4 pieces of designer series paper that measure 2.5 by 1.5. So this is a lovely paper. This is a new paper again. I didn't bring it over with me. Once again, I forgot. But never mind. And then you're going to need 4 more pieces that measure 5 5/8 by 1 5/8, and 4 pieces of designer series paper, and this paper is absolutely gorgeous. The back is really quite nice too. So, but we're not going to, I might put 2 that way so that it contrasts, and then 2 this way. Okay, so these measure 5 3/8 by 1 3/8. Okay. Then you're going to need your belly band, which measures 11, and I think this is 11 3/4, but we can always trim that. 11 3/4 by 1.5 inches. Now I've cut these out from the label set, which I'll show you in a minute. This saying here is from a very old set, but I did that because I just thought that looked so pretty. So I've cut them out. One piece was from a piece that measured 2 1/4 by 3 7/8, and the other piece, which was a bit too big, but we need to bring it down, so 1.5 by 1 3/4, so we can throw those in the bin. Alright, so I'll show you do all those bits. Let me show you one in a minute. I'm going to be using this old set called Perfectly Plaid because I like this saying, hoping your busy year comes together with Christmas cheer. So that's what I'm going to use for my saying on the back of the card. And I'm going to be stamping everything in real red. I'm going to be using the traditional labels. Once again, I have done this before. So I'm going to be using, no, I'm not going to be using that set. What am I doing? Oh, why did I bring that one over? I don't know. Wrong one, this one. I'm going to be using the Peace on Earth set for the words Peace on Earth to put into this middle piece here. Okay. Right, so let's pop them over there, now that I've got that worked out. And then I'm going to use these, which are called Traditional Sparkling Sequins. And they are really, really pretty. And I just think they are going to go on this card in beautiful. And they come in 3 sizes, I think that says. Let me see, let me pop that under there so they can slide it back in and out. And it is 3 sizes, look at that. And it's like a gold, blue, green and red. So really lovely. Okay, so let's pop them out of the way. Let's bring in our main card and our 2 V pieces, and we're going to do the scoring on those first. So where's my scoring tool? There's my scoring tool. Okay, so we're going to score our main card on the long side, which is 11 5/8, which this is 11 3/4. So you can see it's just this smidgen here, about 1/8 of an inch that you're taking off the end. But it's just so that you get the correct size right across. Okay, I could have left it on and then made this one a little bit wider and it would have still fitted into a regular envelope, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist with making sure my sizes are correct. So, okay, so we're going to score this one at 1 7/8 and we're going to use a small ball, 3 3/4, 5 5/8 and 7 1/2. Okay, and then we're going to score both of our V pieces on the long side, which is the 6-inch side, at the 3-inch mark. So that's all the scoring we're going to do. And we're going to bring them all in and not drop them all on the floor. Like everything else is all still on the floor from the other day. That's really clever, isn't it? Because I'm going to need those. Oh, I've got some more on the top. And we're going to fold these V pieces in half at that score line, making sure that they're nice and square at the top and along that open edge. And we're going to fold them and burnish them down like so. We're going to do both of those first. That way we know they're nice and neat and ready to go. Okay, so we've got our 2 V pieces done. So I'll pop them out of the way, and we've got our main card, and we're going to start at the last line next to the biggest section, and we're going to fold that as a valley fold. So we've got our big section here and our valley fold. Then we're going to fold it backwards as a mountain fold at the next line back. Forward again as a valley fold for the next one. And then back, so you've got it back to there with another mountain fold. So we have mountain, valley, all the way along. So it looks like a W there, and these are the pieces that look like the V's. See that? That's where you get your V and your W. See, a V and a W. Okay, so we'll pop them on one side for a moment. Now we've gone through that in great detail of whatever. So, and we're going to glue these pieces together. So because I'm actually going to do 2 that way, let me see which ones are the prettiest. Come here, you. I don't think there's much to choose, is there? They're all really pretty. It's beautiful, most beautiful paper. I think I'm going to do that one backwards because that one I've actually cut the wrong way by the looks of things compared to the others. So we'll do that one backwards and that one backwards. So, alright, so let's glue these together, 4 of these. Let's hope the glue is going to work today, because I didn't check it first today. Normally in this weather I usually check it first, but I haven't done that today. What a naughty girl. 1, 2 that way. And then 2 the opposite way. And even though that they are a dark colour, it's still going to contrast nicely. it's still chilly out there. So, not extremely good day. Alright, so I'm going to pop those pieces on one side because we're going to do this piece first. Okay, so we're going to start with our lovely pieces, and they're going to go onto these two, and then our other pieces, which are still lovely, just a different style, onto the other ones like so. So let's see, which one do I like better for that? I think that one has got a bit more pink flowers on it. So we're going to glue that one to the front. Oops, stand there. So once again, if you've got a directional paper, make sure that you have it into the portrait style, as we need to make sure that it actually goes down correctly, and also if it's directional the opposite way as well, like if you've got leaves, you don't want them upside down or something like that. Okay, so we've got those onto there, so that's looking really good. So before we put this piece in here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a dummy, what I call a dummy run, and I'm going to pop that one over there, and I'm going to pop these together as if I'm putting those glued together, and I'm going to pop this in here as if it's glued into place, and grab one of my V pieces and close my card. So I'm going to, this piece needs to line up with the top of the card, the edge of, and this edge of the card. So we need to make sure that it's lined up top and bottom like so. And I'm going to use my pencil just to draw a line like so. Then I'm going to slide it all the way down to the bottom. At this stage it doesn't matter if it's not lined up with this edge. I'm going to pop my line there, and then I'm going to draw a line this way too. So I know that that is where I'm going to stamp my image or my saying. So I'm going to stamp that with the real red ink. So you need to make sure when you've got your saying that it's going to fit in there correctly. You don't want it to be past that. Well, if it's past that, you're not going to read it properly. Okay, so let's pop that into there. Alright, so let's pop that out of the way for now. Now, I'm going to glue that one down to here before I rub that off, so that if that ink is still a little bit damp, I don't smudge it. Okay, so now I'm just going to get my eraser and get rid of my pencil line all the way around there. And everybody will think, wow, you lined that up really cleverly, didn't you? They won't even know. There we go, see? You wouldn't even know. Now we can then glue that piece into the middle there. Then once that's closed and you've got those bars there, you can see your saying in the middle. If you wanted to put an image there, that's fine. You could do that too. It just would look really pretty with either or. Okie dokie. Alright, so now we've got that part of our card done, we're going to bring in our V panels, and we're going to now glue our V pieces together. Which which is our 4 pieces that measure, let me see, what do they measure? 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. Make sure that I did that. 2 3/4, yes, by 1 3/4, and then 2.5 by 1.5. So we're going to glue those together. Oh, and get them straight. That's better. This time I'm going to put all the same pattern at the front. And I should try and get them on there straight, would be nice too, wouldn't it? Okie dokie. 2 down, 2 to go. Okay, then we're going to glue these onto our pieces. Now, just making sure that we get them up the right way. Because this does have a little bit of a correct way pattern with the leaves. So I want to make sure I get my leaves the correct way around on both sides. You don't want leaves going upside down on one side and up the right way on the other. So I'll pop that one over there, and then this one, the leaves go both ways. Alright, maybe the leaves do go both ways. So whichever way looks best for you. I think that way looks best. I think that way looks best. There we go. Okay, so once I've got those like that, I'm going to bring in my main card and I'm going to line this up. I'm going to turn it this way inside out for a minute, and I'm going to line this up with this edge like so. Fold that over that way would be the best way. Fold that in. Oop, we moved. You're not allowed to do that. How dare you? Fold that way. Then I can draw a line down here, open it up this way, and a line down here, so I know where to put my glue. Alright, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. So line that up there, inside out, inside out, come on, get there, that's it. And once again, I'm going to pop that in there like so. I guess it doesn't matter if it's not right at the top at the moment, you know, as long as you get it there once you're ready to pop it into place. Once again, I'm going to just put my glue to the edge of the designer series paper because I don't want it to be too much, and then it folds out so we can see where they're going to go. Alright, so we're going to make sure we got these up the correct way. So that looks a better way. Alright, so I'm going to pop some glue onto the inside one. And now I'm going to make sure that it's lined up across the top and down this side. And once I'm happy with that, I can close this one across here. Making sure once again that it's still lined up nicely with the top of the card. You've got time to wiggle it into place if not. Once we've done that one, we're going to do the bottom one, only because it's easier to do it this way. We're going to pop some glue onto, I better make sure I've got this one up the right way too, eh? We don't want this one upside down after we did all the effort to get it in the right way. Making sure that it's going to close across there. Come on, get on there. Happy with that? Press that down. Close it across, that way you can see whether or not it's even along the sides. Happy with that one? Press that one down too. So we've got these two flaps now sticking up in the air like this. Woohoo! We can close that one down. We then pop glue onto this section here and here. Let's put a little bit more on this edge. Close that across, making sure that it's lined up with the top of the card again, and don't get glue all over your fingers. And the same with the bottom one, like so. So then we can open that up this way to fold it down. Give it a good press, because you can't open it up flat because it doesn't open flat. So there was our card. What do you think? It looks incredible. So let's pop that on one side and let's do our stamping for our back panel, our writing panel. Let's pop them the right way. Beautiful, just like a bought one. It is so yucky in here today with the cold that the glue is drying very quickly, same as it does in the warmer weather. Okay, so that's our back writing panel. So I'm going to pop that onto the back of the card here. Once again, I'm going to lay that down flat like this. It's just easier to put it on, which makes it also easy when you're ready to write your message to whoever you're going to give this to. And we have our lovely writing panel on the back of the card now, see? Okay, so we're going to bring in our other piece, which is our belly band. So I'm going to start by gluing these two pieces together. No, I'm not. I'm going to glue them together afterwards. So I'm going to bring in my belly band, bring it around my card. Now, if this belly band is too wide, too long rather, which mine is very, very long. Look at that. We don't really need it that length because that's going to show out that side. So I'm going to trim off probably, let's say I'll bring it back to about 10 inches. So what have I got here? Look at that. Oh, wow. I couldn't have guessed that better, could I? Alright, let's bring this back in. Bring that piece over and that piece over. But again, we want to do it up here over the piece where this is going to go so that we don't over tighten it. So we're going to pop it up top here. And then I'm going to pop some glue onto the inside of that. Okay, and see that's going to then slide. We need to be able to slide that. If it's too tight, you've got a chance then to actually move it, which I think mine's a tiny bit tight, so I'm going to actually bring it apart a tiny bit more. Pop my fingers under there because I need to be able to lever it over the top of that. So once I've done that, I'm going to give this a bit of a squash around because I want to try and get rid of that mark. Okay, that's better because we need to be able to slide it over where these two pieces come together, where the V's are. So where, if you want to put that on, you can. This belly band, you can. If you don't, you don't need to. All right. So my saying's going to go on the top here. So I'm going to pop this one on here, nice and flat. Now I picked the same colour for the simple reason that I just thought I didn't want to put white and then I couldn't stamp. So I'm going to pop that on there, and my other pack of dimensionals are still on the floor from last week or the week before, whenever it was I was out here. I can't remember. Pop them onto there. That one then can go into the middle there like so. I just thought that the magic of Christmas never ends, and it doesn't, does it? Okay, so that's our card. We've just got to put our little dooflackies on. So these are all going to go on here. We've got this blue in the background, this blue haze. We've got green leaves. We've got gold leaf between the leaves, and we've got the red. So I think I'm going to go with the gold. So let me pop the pin in my bit glue, which is already starting to go hard. And I'm going to pop these small ones on here. These are tiny. They're very, very thin. So I think they're going to look really, really good without putting too much height on this. There we go. I think that's perfect. What do you think? Do you like my card for today? If you've enjoyed today's project, please head over to Die Stamp for stamping, crafting and tutorials. That's my Facebook group, and you can pick up the written tutorial with all the measurements. The measurements are in imperial and metric, and they are for European, Australian sizing. So if you are from America or that region where you use letter paper, you do need to make sure that you make it a little bit shorter, a little bit wider for your benefits. And or you can do it this size, it doesn't matter, you know, you can still pop it in an envelope this size, because this is a little bit shorter. So you could almost make it the same width, but a little bit shorter for you, for your market. Okay, so that's today's card. And if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up please. I'd love to hear from you. You can leave me a comment. I've enjoyed making this card, and I hope you have. If you would like to know more about these new products, please let me know. If you live in Australia, I'd love to be your demonstrator, and I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.